Good morning, everyone. It's Rose Coleman coming to you live from my craft room here in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. It is Friday, November 24th, Black Friday. Ooh, lots of shopping to be done today, I guess. Hey, guys, are you getting your Christmas shopping done? Maybe starting it, or maybe it's too early. I'm not sure. Let me know. What do you guys do for Black Friday? I know my friends in the United States, you guys, I see lots of things on the news about Black Friday craziness down there. I mean, it's crazy up here too. It's crazy everywhere, right? Who can pass up a good deal? Maybe you're staying home and shopping online, right? Amazon, is going to be super hot today. Or maybe you want to shop from the Stampin' Up! Website and get your crafty friends your gifts today. Over on my website, you can find kits, stocking stuffers, you can get blends, you can buy the Take Your Pick tool, a bone folder, all of those fun things that fit in a stocking, right? Do your own crafty gift this year for your friends, and they will, gosh, she totally thought about what I need. I need more liquid glue, I need more dimensionals, I need tear and tape, lots and lots of things you can do and stuff a. Hopefully that will be okay. I'm back to my red bar. Let me know, guys, if you're having some issues watching me. That flashed in front of me and I don't want to have to end the video unless I have to. But if I do, if I lose you, I will come back right away, okay? Good morning. It's from sunny Lacombe. Yes, Wendy. It is sunny here in Calgary too. It's frosty. The rooftops are frosty. And, I guess it's just the time of year. We're going to get cold weather. Today, we're going to rock and roll, guys. We're going to rock and roll because it's Friday. It's Black Friday, and we're going to have some fun over here with my video today. I'm excited about this one. We're going to make a rock and roll card. And you probably have expected this. If you're an avid crafter and you have been playing with the Rocking Horse stamp set, you probably have been wondering, is she going to do the rock and roll card on Friday for Fun Fold Friday, right? I love that. Friday's my favorite day of the week for a lot of reasons. It's, the start of the weekend, some time with my family, some rest time. And it's also Fun Fold Friday, which is my favorite card to make, right? It's always fun to make a card that, thank you, Judy. It's always fun to make a card that's a little different, right? When the recipient opens it, they just get a little bit of a different fold and opens differently. It's always fun to delight people like that. This one especially, I was thinking about we have a great niece and a great nephew, and they're only 2 and how old is our great nephew? Our niece is 2. He's not a year yet, so he's under a year. But anyway, I think this card would be fun for children, right? Because things that move, things that shake, shaker cards, those types of cards like the waterfall card, all of those types of cards are super fun for little kids. Well, I mean, they're super fun for adults too, but little kids love to, if you show it to them, they'll be like, oh my God, that's so cool. I always think about my son when he was 6. He was 6 years old when I started with Stampin' Up! I remember making a spinner card and showing it to him. And he had seen all my cards because I was so excited about Stampin' Up! I would show him and my husband, all the cards I was making. And when I showed him the spinner card, you guys all know what I'm talking about with the pennies. You put 2 pennies together with a dimensional and it spins across the front of the card. When I showed him that card, he's like, oh my God, Mom, that's the coolest thing you've made with Stampin' Up! So when you can impress a child or a teenager with your card making, then you know what? Then you know you're in the right spot. All right, let's flip the camera and get started. Joyce loves Fun Fold Fridays too. Yes, I love. I've been doing Fun Fold Friday for a very, very long time. And a lot of people say, do you ever run out of fun folds? Nope. You know what? There's so many different fun folds, you guys. And sometimes yes, I do revisit them because they're my favorites, right? But there are so many different fun folds. There's just not enough time. That's the problem. There's not enough time to do everything. You have to do other stuff, right? Like clean your house and do the laundry and get the groceries and all that stuff. But I could stay in my craft room here for hours. Anyway, let's get started on this fun card. Thank you all for joining. I love hearing where you're joining me from. And I love hearing that you guys love fun folds too. All right, let's get started. We're going to flip the camera and point you down at my work surface. The products I'm using today are available. I will explain as I go. I do like to check the website in the morning because this time we're in right now with the last chance list and the retired products have been announced. I always want to double check, right? Because things fly off the shelf and I want to make sure that I'm showing you things that you can get, right? That you can actually order. Yeah, so many ideas, so little time, LOL. Yeah, exactly. Okay, here we go. We're going to flip the camera. Good morning, Karen. Good morning. All right, here we go. We're flipping and we're turning the camera. Bear with me while I turn my camera here to point you down at my work surface. Okay, so we've got a host code here. This is my host code for the week. Oh, let's see. My friend Jen's here. Thank you, Jen, for posting my code. This is my host code if you want to get all the card pieces for this card and the other ones that I've done this week. I'll do a little recap at the end of the video in case you've missed anything that I've done. There's 4 cards this week. I didn't do one on Tuesday because I did the run through with the catalog. Okay, so I did page per page with the catalog to show you with a red marker. This is what I did here. I went through page per page. So you can check that video out. It's in the video section here on my Facebook page. It's also over on my YouTube page. And I explained page per page what's staying, what's leaving. So that video was a little bit longer. That's why I didn't fit in a card on Tuesday. But there are 4 other cards that I did this week, including today's. And I want to share with you what we're going to use today. We're going to use Rocking Horse. Now, the bundle is not available because the dies have sold out, okay? But if you like the Rocking Horse stamp set, it is definitely a one you want to add to your collection. It's a classic one, classic Christmas images, and you can also do baby cards. You saw yesterday, if you joined me live, you saw my 2 baby cards that I made. I made a boy and I showed you a girl one as well. So you could make those with this set. Lots and lots of fun things you can do with it. All right, we're going to make a rock and roll card today. And I'm using Crumb Cake cardstock. I've got a 6x6 piece here I'm starting off with. I have a piece of this specialty paper. It's called Joyful. That's why it's only one side. It's specialty, so you can see that gold foil shine on there. This paper is available, you guys. It's specialty paper. It's from the Joy of Noel bundle, Joy of Christmas bundle on page 28 to 31. Let me just show you where that is in the catalog. And I'll share with you what is and is not available. So on page 29, the bottom here, this Joy of Christmas is sold out, sadly. However, above it here, the Hi Joy Gaudette, good morning, good morning. The Joyful Specialty Designer Series paper is available. Okay, so you want to grab some of that because it is stunning with all that shine. So we're going to use a 6x, if this is a 5x5 piece, we're going to do something with these pieces in a second. And then I have 2 pieces of 4x4 of basic white. I also have a little piece of Crumb Cake. All of this will be in the PDF with the cutting and scoring measurements that will be on my blog later today. So don't worry, you can just sit back and watch the video and then you can make your own rock and roll card later. Okay, so we've got Crumb Cake here. I have a little piece. It's 1/2 inch by 2 inches, just a tiny piece. And I'll explain what that little piece does in just a moment. All right, so what I want to do is I'm going to bring in a set of dies that you can get right now. OMG. These ones are called Deckled Circles. There's a set of 14 dies here. Don't miss out on these, you guys. They are so amazing. You get 14 of them. And when I first got them, I was telling you this before, that I was like, oh my goodness, will this even fit in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine? Because visually, I looked at it, I'm like, wow, they're so big, and you get 14 of them. So you're going to have circles for days, right? You're going to have circles for all of your projects. So we're going to use 3 of these on the project today. So with the Crumb Cake, we're going to grab the second largest. So I'm going to give you some tips and tricks on this card and how to make it work so that it fits in an envelope, because it's kind of annoying to make a card that you can't fit in an envelope, right? Because then you have to you figure out how to make an envelope. And anyway, I'd like to show you one that works in our regular standard envelope. So we're going to use the second largest. So we're going to count from the outside. So whenever I refer to the number of the die, I'm counting from the outside. So the second largest deckled circle die, we're going to cut that with crumb cake. So we'll just set my dies off to the side. We're going to bring in my machine and we're going to cut that. We got 2 cuts through the machine. So I'm going to put this down on the platform. I'm going to put my cardstock on top and put my top plate on. We'll get this one circle done. Got to do them separate because they're big circles, right? So one run at a time. All right, so we've got our first one, not the largest, but the second largest of the dies. I'm going to put that back because we have to count. So I want to make sure I've got them all in line. So I'm counting and I'm grabbing the right one. Okay, so the second cut I'm going to make is with my music note paper. And with this one, we're going to grab just looking at my notes here, the 4th largest. Okay, so we're going to count from the outside. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to grab this one right here, the 4th one. So I'm leaving 3 behind. I'm grabbing the 4th one. There is a measurement, but hey, I think it's easier to say just grab the 4th one than to tell you the measurement, because then you got to get your ruler out and I don't know. I'd just rather not measure things if I don't have to. Okay, so I'm cutting one of these with the 4th largest die. So here we go. Hi, Polly. Happy Friday to you too. I hope all my American friends had a great Thanksgiving yesterday with your family and friends. I was thinking about you all and saying my prayers of blessing for how gracious I am that you come and join me every day. I love it. So happy belated Thanksgiving. If you didn't join me yesterday, I was thinking about you all. Okay, now we're going to go to the 7th largest die. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 right here. Let's pull that one out. Let me make sure I'm leaving 6 behind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so here we go. We've got our 7th die, and I'm going to grab 2 pieces of 4x4 basic white. Hi, Carol Ann. Good morning. Good morning. It's probably afternoon for you, I think, in PEI. Thanks for joining me. So I'm putting both of them onto my platform here together. Okay, so I'm going to run this through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine at once. So it will cut through. I'm going to go forward and I'm going to go back to make sure that the pressure is enough to cut both of them. Okay, so there we have our 2 dies. Look at that, it cut through like butter. And where's my other one? It's underneath the clear plate. Okay, try and play tricks on me over here. Here it is here on the top plate. Not today, no, just kidding. Okay, so here we go. We're going to get rid of our little scrap pieces here. We've got 2 of the white circles. We've got a large crumb cake, and then we've got our music notes. Okay, putting my dies back in the case because you don't want to mess these up, right? Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is let's start from the card base. So this big crumb cake circle is my card base, if you will. We're going to pop that into the trimmer, and we're going to line it up at the top. I'm just going to touch the top edge, and then I'm going to slide it back to 2 5/8 of an inch, which is just a little tick mark above the 2.5. So 2 5/8, I'm going to score. Okay, so that is going to be my middle line of this circle. So that's going to allow me to fold it in half. Actually, it's not quite perfect, but if you know what, you don't even need to score it, because honestly, if you take your cardstock and you fold it, you can actually just use your bone folder and just, it's going to be, but I'm going with this one. I have to now because I'm going to ruin it if I don't. Let's see if I can fix this, because I was off by just a tad. Okay, there we go. So just take your cardstock and fold it in half, grab your bone folder and reinforce the score line, make it nice and crisp, and then there we go. Okay, so there's my card. It's going to be a rocky roly card, right? Bone folder, yes, thank you, Jen. And then we're going to take this piece and it's going to go on the front and the back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to add glue to the bottom part, and we're going to wrap that down around. Okay, just lowering you down so you get a better view here. So let's take a look. So this is going to be the front of my card. So I want to add my glue to, we're essentially going to add glue to the whole thing, but let's just do half first, and we'll line that up. And just leaving an even border all the way around. Then I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to add glue to the other half. I'm going to just gently fold that over the back like that. I'm going to grab my bone folder again. I'm going to reinforce that score line like that. Easy peasy, right? Okay, so there's the structure of the rock and roll card. Now, you could leave it like this, but we're going to put more on it here, and it's going to get heavy. And when you make cards like that, sometimes when you put them on the mantle, they will whoop, flatten out, and you don't want that. So we're going to put a little mechanism in here that's going to keep it together. Now, I learned this from Karen Titus and her husband from Stampin' On, I think they're called Stamping on the Back Porch. Love, love, love that couple. They are so funny. Check them out, guys. They are from the United States, and they are hilarious. Like, they stamp together, and I learned this little tip from them. So this little anchor thing is going to help keep the card from falling down, okay? So it's 2 inches by 1/2 inch, okay? It's a piece of crumb cake that's 1/2 inch by 2 inches. I'm just going to score it at every 1/2 inch increments. So we're just going to come in here and do 1/2 inch, then 1 inch. Let's see, 1 inch, and then 1.5 inch. So 2 inches scored like that, okay? So we've got that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to fold that piece up like an accordion, okay? So like a little W, I guess, like this, an M or a W. So we've got this little tiny piece, and then we need to grab glue dots. So we're going to add glue dots to the ends of both of those. So put one on one end, flip it over, and grab another one. And there we've got our little sandwich that's going to go inside our card. So just take your card and stick that in. Just, it doesn't really matter where you put it. It's just going to anchor, like kind of hold the ends together. So I'm just going to put it right there, close it down, and there it is. You can see it from the top. See that? That's going to keep my card looking the same all the time. I won't have to worry about it flattening out. All right, so now let's do some fun stuff. So I have 2 of these circles. So you want to make sure you're grabbing the right side. There is a right and a wrong side. People ask me that all the time. When you do die cutting, you'll know when you look at it closely because it's like a little bit of a rounded edge on it. That's how you know you're using the front. So we're going to stamp the front and we're going to stamp the back. So the front, of course, we're going to bring in that Rocky Horse again. Here it is. And the dies have sold out. Well, you guys, you can still get these stamps and you can cut them out with all kinds of different dies. You don't have to have the exact dies that came with the stamp to enjoy the stamp set, right? You know, this is a true story. When I first started with Stampin' Up! In 2002, there was no die cut machine. There was no Big Shot. There was no dies. It was stamps, ink, and paper. And I think we did maybe have a few punches back then. Anyway, I fell in love with Stampin' Up! Before I even knew what a die cut was. So not everything needs a die cut. So don't discredit this stamp set just because the dies have sold out, right? I could have abandoned ship this week when I found out these were sold, but I was like, no. That gives me more of a challenge. I'm going to definitely show my viewers that you can use a stamp set even without the dies. Okay, so there's my Rocky Horse on there. By the magic of camera, I didn't want you to have to watch me color. I colored this one in. So this one was colored using Cherry Cobbler blends, both the light and the dark on the stirrups and the saddle. And this little thing, all of my equestrian people will know what this is called, this little thing that hangs over the side of their back. And the reins. I used Cherry Cobbler. I also used dark crumb cake on the tail and his mane, and as well as the bottom of the rocky part of this, the Rocky Horse. So there's the front of my card. Now, the only thing I want to add to that is a little bit of sponging just to make it pop a little bit. So I've got my Cherry Cobbler sponge. I've got Cherry Cobbler ink here, and we're going to just add a pop of color. And I'm actually going to add this pop of color to both. You see how that just highlights the edges? I love sponging the edges. If you want to keep your edges clean and clear, you don't have to do this, but I really think that it highlights the deckled edge of these amazing, amazing dies. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and do this one because I've got the sponge in my hand and I might as well, right? So we're just going to go all the way around and add that nice little bit of cherry cobbler pop of color. And then we'll just, the sponge sometimes has little bits that fly off, so we'll get rid of those. Okay, so that's the front. This is the back, okay? So let's bring the card base in and I'll show you what we're going to do. So the front of the card is going to have, there is, if you're musically inclined or you know anything about music notes, you'll know that this is the right side. And yes, indeed, these are upside down. But we're going to be covering up most of it, so it's okay. I'm okay with that. If that bothers you, you could cut another circle and use the half, flip it over, right? But I don't want to waste this beautiful paper. So I just draped it right over top, and I'm totally fine with that. So this part I want to show you, we're going to put the front on first. And this is the most critical part of making this card. And it's really not that hard, you guys. You can use your grid paper. And I don't know if you can see. I'm going to raise up so you can see. I'm using my grid paper here on my work surface. And I'm going to put it right down in the corner down here. Let's just come up here. I'll show you. I want to put this circle, this half circle down here, and I'm touching the bottom of the grid paper and the side. I want to make sure that the edge does not go past the 5.5 inch mark. And if you want an even better visual, grab a pencil and draw a line. So this is my 5.5 inch mark. So I can't have my card go past that line. And more importantly, I can't have my card go above 4.25 because that is where the limit of my envelope is, right? So I'm making a line there and there. So let's grab an envelope. So here's my Whisper Basic White envelope. So if I were to put that down here in the corner, yes, indeed, my card will fit in my envelope. So the reason I'm telling you that and explaining this is because if you do this, you just pop your card down here and you put your glue on, then you'll know how far up to put your circle. Like if you came in and put your circle up here, it's not going to fit in a regular envelope, right? So let's go ahead and add some glue to the bottom of this deckled circle. And we're going to go ahead and use that guide to make sure that I'm in the parameters to fit in my envelope. So here we go. I'm just going to guide this, lay it down, and make sure it doesn't go above that line, right? I was going to say Whisper White. Yes, I was, Jen. Yep, it's I don't know, you guys. It's in the cobwebs of my brain, that word, because it used to be Basic White used to be called Whisper White for years and years. And I know if any demonstrators are watching, you know my pain, right? You know that it's hard to get those words out of your head when you're used to saying a certain color. Okay, so now we've got our front of our card done. So let's do the greeting for the front. So from the stamp set, there's so many awesome greetings, you guys. I want to use this one here, Sending Christmas Joy. So I've got that on my block right here. I'm going to grab some scrap white. I forgot to tell you the supplies at the beginning. You're going to need a scrap white that's big enough to do your stamping on here. So I've got a scrap piece of white. I'm going to bring in Shaded Spruce, and we're going to stamp on here. Tap, tap, tap. Stamp right there. And I'm going to bring in my favorite, oh, I love this punch, the double oval punch. And I'm going to use the top one because it fits. Look at that, it just fits. Actually, I think I should flip it over because I went a little too close to the bottom, so I don't have a big enough space. So just kind of be mindful of that too. Shaded Spruce, stamp it in the center, stamp it wherever so that you can actually punch it out. So here we go. We're coming in with a scallop. There we go. Making sure, so it won't fit the bottom one. So I'm using the top portion, and that's totally okay. This punch is made to do layers, but if your greeting needs to be in the bigger one, then just go for it, right? So we're going to stamp that, punch that one out. And then we're going to, you guessed it, we're going to add a little pop of color to the edges. We're going to add a little bit of Shaded Spruce to these scallop edges, just to make them pop a little bit more, like that. And then in the stamp set, there's some little stamps that are really cute. There's this holly right here with the leaves, and then like there's one that's like that, and then there's one that's curled up a little bit. So I'm going to use the long one, and we're going to stamp that right at the bottom of my greeting. Boom, right there. I'm going to bring in my Cherry Cobbler blend and just add a little touch of color for the holly berries. And my shaded spruce blend. What did I do with that one? I forgot to grab that one. Let me grab my shaded spruce. I'm just going to grab the light shaded spruce. Yes, I love inking my edges too. It's one of my favorite things. It just ties the colors of the card together. Okay, so a little bit of shaded spruce on there. And then that's my greeting. It's going to go on the front of the card, but I wanted to bring in a little bit more of that beautiful paper, that designer series paper. Oh my goodness. Let me just move this off to the side. I'll show you the colors, the patterns that you get in this paper. So you get, look at this one, the shaded spruce with, I'll hold it in the light, with the gold. There's that pattern. You get the gold wood grain pattern. These are 12 by 12, you guys. I'm just using my scraps here. I definitely want to order another package of this. It's so stunning. This is the background with the music notes. And then the fourth pattern is the holly berry right here with the gold greenery. So nice, this paper. All right, so what I want to use, I'm going to pull in another piece of this. I've got a scrap piece right here, and I'm going to just grab my punch, and we're going to just punch out one of those. And you're probably thinking, well, that can't make a layer because it's the same size. And yes, indeed it is. But I'm going to share a little trick with you, what you can do to make your layers. You can actually take this background piece and just cut it, just very carefully, cut it in half, okay? We're going to cut it in half, and then I'm going to grab my glue, and we're going to put a little bit of glue on the top and bottom, like that, and like that. There we go. And then we can make our own layer. So we're just going to take the greeting, and I'm just going to do one at a time, do the top portion, and you got a little bit of wiggle room with that liquid glue, so use it while you can before it's secure very very well, because the glue does, once it's dry, oh, it is dry. Okay, so there, we're going to add the bottom, and you see now I have a nice shaded spruce edge to my greeting. So then I'm going to flip it over. I want to bring in a little pop of gold because we've got a lot of gold going on in the paper. And, you know, it's Christmas, right? So gold is definitely something I like to use at Christmas. This is the ribbon I'm going to use today. It's from the annual catalog. And it is called Satin Edge Ribbon. Gold Satin Edge Ribbon. Look at the shine on this ribbon. It is so beautiful. So what I want to do is I'm going to attach it to the back of my greeting. And I'm going to, you can do all kinds of things with ribbon, right? I'm going to bring in my tear and tape, and I'm going to put 2 strips. So one here and one here. You could tie a bow and stick on there. When I actually did tie a bow earlier, and I liked it, but I decided to go with the strips instead. Okay, so this, burnish your tear and tape, and then you can peel off the backing. Expose that glue. I'm just looking on my desk because I know I tied a gold bow. It's here somewhere. Okay, oh, here it is. I did tie a bow. It makes pretty bows, you guys. But I'm going to use strips for my card. So I'm going to just, or for my greeting, I'm just going to come across here and attach my ribbon like that. And we're going to just snip on an angle. And then I'm going to do the same thing. Come over here. That tear and tape is super sticky. And I'll just come across here. And then we're going to snip on the same angle. Easy peasy. And there we've got the ribbon. Now, the beauty of using tear and tape is that if you're not liking the way it's sitting, you can pull it, whoops, careful. You can pull it up carefully and you can straighten it back up so that it sits the way you want it to. So there we go. We've got a little bit of ribbon on the back there, and one of my little corners is lifting. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue, come in and fix it. There we go. And we're going to add some dimensionals to this, 3 dimensionals. So let's put one on the end, both ends, and then one in the middle. So I was looking at where to put this greeting, and because you want your card to rock, it's called the rock and roll card. So I don't even know if I showed you that. When you put your card up, watch, you can just tap it and see how it rocks. The rocking horse is rocking. Isn't that fun? Oh my gosh, it's so fun. And then, so I thought, oh, I could put it over here and make sure with my grid paper that I'm not bigger than it needs to be. But it doesn't, well, I guess that could work. it'll rock a little bit, but it does limit the rocking, right? So if you want it to have maximum rockiness, you can put your greeting right here at the bottom. And that's what I chose to do. Put mine at the bottom so that it doesn't hinder. I plan on sending this to some little kids who are probably going to have fun doing this, right? And so you can imagine all the different stamps that we have that you could put on here and make the card rock, right? It's such a fun technique. Okay, so there's the front. And the only other thing I want to do on the front is to add some bling, and then we'll flip it over and do the background. So I'm going to bring in my neutral adhesive back sequence. I want to bring in these because the gold is just so, it's just fitting. I've got gold ribbon, we've got gold in the paper. Let's do gold for my bling. So I'm going to grab a big one, a big sequence, and put here. And then I'm going to grab a couple of small ones. These will all be in your kits, you guys, and you'll be able to make this rock and roll card. It's so fun. If you don't have the Rocky Horse stamp set, you could add it to your order, or you can just use any stamp that you have at home, right? Okay, I'm actually going to be sending you the deckled circles already cut in case you don't have them. But if you want to make this card exactly like mine, you're going to need the Rocky Horse stamp set, as well as Memento, Shaded Spruce, and yeah, just Memento and Shaded Spruce for my ink pads. And then my blends, I use Crumb Cake, Shaded Spruce, and Cherry Cobbler. So let's flip it around and grab the other deckled circle. So on the back is where you're going to be able to sign your card, okay? If you don't want to put this mechanism on the inside, you could also add, you know, half circles on the inside and they could open it and sign it. I wanted to keep mine so that it doesn't fan out, and I think it's just as easy to do the back like this. All right, so we're going to stamp on here, and we're going to bring in Shaded Spruce ink. Oh yes, we are using Cherry Cobbler ink. So we're going to have a Rockin' Christmas, and we're going to stamp right across the top here. Then I'm going to bring in my Cherry Cobbler ink, and I'm going to stamp From Our Family to Yours. Love it. Stamp that right there. And then I thought, oh, there's so many other awesome images in this stamp set. What about the drums? What about the trumpet? I could put a pile of presents. I've already played with the holly berries, like so many different images that you can use. So let's bring in the drum, and I'm done with these inks. Let's put them off to the side. I'm going to bring in the drum, the trumpet, and we're just going to add those to the back. And I'm still going to have lots of room to sign my name, our name for our family, and to give a nice well wish, you know, for Christmas. So let's stamp the drum, and we're going to stamp the trumpet over here. Love it. A Rockin' Christmas. And then we're going to bring in, I have Daffodil Delight. Just going to add a little pop of color to the trumpet, just like that. And then my drums, let's see. We're going to use Crumb Cake Light. Let me look at my sample. I can't remember what I did. Crumb Cake Light for the drum. And actually, sorry, that was dark. Okay, so for the actual sides, I'm going to do light. You need the sharp point. You need to get into those little triangles. So I'm going to do Crumb Cake for the sides. Nice neutral side. And then we're going to bring in Cherry Cobbler for the straps, or the decorative part that goes down along the drum, like that. There we go. And I'm going to do the trim down the bottom with Cherry Cobbler. And then we're going to bring in Pecan Pie. I have dark pecan pie here. I'm just going to add that as a little ridge to the top of the drum. Go around the back there. There's a little spot for the ridge. And I think for the drum sticks, well, I've got my Daffodil Delight here. Let's make them Daffodil Delight. There we go. Okay, have a Rockin' Christmas. All right, so we're going to come in here, flip this over, and add our glue to the back. Be really light with your glue. You don't want any rippling to go through as it dries. You don't want to see those lines. So just be use your glue very sparingly. It will still stick. Okay, so we're coming in here, and we're just gonna line up the two circles. Whoop, like that. And then, let's see. I got a little bit of wiggle room. Let's line that up a bit better, Rose. Make sure that the have a rockin' Christmas is straight. Okay, so there's the back where I can sign. There's the front. And then it partially opens a little bit so that it will stay rockin' on your mantle. Well, the person's mantle that you send it to. You can make one for yourself and have it as a Christmas decoration. I hope you like this style. Such an easy, adorable card. Yeah, I agree, Jen. And it's so fun, right? To rock lots and lots of things. Send it to a child, have it, on your mantle when your grandchildren come over, and show them that Grandma made a Rocky card. Oh my gosh, so fun. Let me just grab my cards from this week. Okay. 1 second. I just got to go grab the one I did on Monday. So in case you missed any of my videos this week, on Monday, I started off with the Global Design Project Challenge, and it was a color it is a color challenge. You can still play along. The challenge goes right up until Sunday. This is the color challenge, and this is my take on the color challenge, right? Poppy Parade, Lemon Lime Twist, and Pool Party. Now, I made this card before the dies sold out, so don't fall in love with the dies. You could still do this card without the dies, right? And the background embossing folder, grab that too, guys. It's retiring. It's still available, but it's retiring, and it's discounted by, I think, 10%. So, and this paper here is also leaving, so grab that as well. Lots and lots of fun things. And then I also used the scallop oval again. All right, so that was Monday. Tuesday, what did I do on Tuesday? Let's see. Oh yeah, Tuesday we did the walkthrough of the catalog. Wednesday, I made this card using some strips of the Designer Series paper. Love this old Saint Nick paper. And stamped just the head of the Rocky Horse. You don't even need to use the entire thing, right? And so then I used some of the trumpet and the drum image there. So let's just line these up. So that was Monday, Wednesday. Thursday, I made this one on screen with you guys, but then I shared my baby version, the girl. All right, so there's those two cards. So I will send you 5 cards. If you make your order before Sunday at midnight using this host code, I will send you both the boy and the girl colors, okay? So there's the host code. If you live in Canada and you want these cards, midnight is the deadline to get your order in using this. It has to have this host code. And then I will send them to you. And then Friday is our Fun Fold Rockin' card here, sending Christmas joy. So I have had a blast, you guys, playing with the Rocking Horse stamp set this week, as well as another suggestive thing that you could put in your cart is the deckled circles. If you've been looking at these, grab them. They are so fun, you guys. You will not regret getting those. Okay, let me flip you around. Whoa, that's not flipping. That's making my viewers dizzy. Whoops. Okay, let's try that again. Whoa. We're rocking over here. We're just rocking the camera all around. Thank you all for joining me today for Fun Fold Friday. I wish you all a great weekend, and I hope you have fun, whatever it is you have planned. I know a lot of people, my American friends, have a long weekend, I think, right, for Thanksgiving. I hope you continue to enjoy your family and to be grateful for everything you have. I'm grateful for you all. And I want to thank you again for joining me today. And I will see you on Monday morning for another fun stamping share project. Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye-bye.